Let's talk about my favorite affordable men's fashion brands that offer those really high quality pieces without breaking the bank. What is up, you guys? Stevie here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If any of you guys are like me, I personally love steal. I love finding and purchasing really great, high quality, amazing pieces, all the while not spending so much money. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 favorite retailers and companies that I feel like have really great, amazing pieces. They're fairly priced, they're really affordable, and they still come through with the quality. There's a lot of times that certain brands, you know what it is, they be offering the really cheap stuff, but the quality just feels like shit. And these brands right here, not every single thing that these brands offer, but some of them, which I'll get into in this video, they really do have some amazing stuff that I really want to recommend and share with you guys. So that's exactly what we're going to do in today's video. As always, get chatty here, do what you have to do, grab a snack, grab a drink, and just relax with me for a bit. If you're new here, what's up? My name is Stevie. This is episode 3 of an ongoing series here on my channel talking about my favorite men's fashion brands for every single budget. This video right here, episode 3, is covering cheap and affordable brands. So make sure you catch episode 1 and 2, which will also be linked down below. And hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. So let's get into this video. Retailer number 1 will come as no shock to you guys. Let's talk about H&M. So I love H&M when it comes to, of course, the price point. Some of the stuff that they offer still kind of comes through with that really nice high quality and aesthetic. I really love H&M for all things essentials, outerwear, and casual suiting. So those are the 3 things that I want to highlight when it comes to this brand right here. I really do believe that you can find really great, amazing gems from H&M, either on sale, which could be anywhere from like 25% off all the way to I've copped stuff from them from like 80% off, which is just crazy. I love how you can go to H&M for pretty much anything, and I feel like when it comes to their essentials, the outerwear, and the casual suiting, that is where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck. When it comes to the essentials, I'm talking about pretty much anything like heavyweight hoodies, sweatshorts, sweatpants, basic tees, long sleeves, sweatshirts, all of those stuff. I'll be sure to leave links to my favorites in the description box down below. But H&M really does their thing when it comes to the essentials. This might be a hot take, but sometimes I feel like H&M be coming through with these really nice blanks that I feel like are kind of comparable to designer brands. And so if you just like a more simple, minimal palette, essentials that they offer is definitely a 10 out of 10. In terms of the outerwear, my favorite coats that are currently in my closet right now that I've had for years on years on years come from H&M, and it really is just taking the time to sift through their selection. If you can, go in store, try them on. When it comes to H&M, not just their outerwear, but pretty much anything from them, I love to size up just because I do notice it runs a little small. Even though it is, for the most part, some of the pieces can be high quality, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily last in the wash per se. Like, it does what it does, but it's just one of those things, like, you want to just make sure you size up because you just never know. So that's kind of a tip within itself. But the outerwear, I'm telling you guys, overcoats, trench coats, pea coats, just basic kind of jackets, I love getting mine from H&M. A lot of their outerwear pieces look so refined and elevated that you wouldn't even know it's from H&M. And as I mentioned before, I have coats that are currently in my closet that I've had from H&M for years now. And then the last thing that I want to highlight is their casual suiting. So I'm talking about blazers, the matching pants, the dress shirts, ties, belts, even their loafers or their dress shoes. H&M is such a great spot where if you're going to maybe a summer wedding or you're just going to a wedding in general, you don't necessarily want to invest in a whole suit. H&M always comes through with the casual suiting. If you go into the H&M store, there's a whole section for just the casual suiting, and you can really find stuff. I love the size range. I love the kind of options that they have when it comes to colors, the different types of cuts, and kind of wrapping it up and going back to the whole theme of this video, they really are, in my humble opinion, affordable and fairly priced, especially when you catch them on sale. So that's kind of my top tip when it comes to H&M. Always peep the sales, take your time, sift through the stuff that they have, go in person to try it on so you can feel the fabrics and you can see what it looks like on body. And I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on H&M. There is a reason why I rank them at number 1. As you guys know, I've been going through a pretty big transitional period in my life with becoming a first-time new dad, still running a business, and making time for my loved ones like my friends and my family. Finding that nice work-life balance has definitely been a little tricky. With better help, therapy sessions, being more open with my emotions, and most importantly, setting clear intentions, I've been able to find little things here and there to help me navigate this new normal that I have. Regardless if you are a person who has clinical mental health issues like anxiety or depression, or if you're just an everyday person been struggling and having a hard time, therapy can definitely give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that is why I'm excited to tell you about today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and, most importantly, more accessible. I know from firsthand experience, finding a therapist can definitely be a little bit tricky, especially when you are limited to the options within your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out just a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to get signed up. Go ahead and click the link in my description box down below or visit betterhelp.com/StevieSalle. Clicking that link, of course, supports the channel, but it also gets you 10% off of your first month at BetterHelp, so you can see and experience if therapy is going to help you just as much as it has helped me so far. And because finding a therapist is a little bit like dating, if you don't necessarily connect or resonate with your current therapist, which is totally fine and 100% okay, you can easily switch on over to a new one free of charge without having to worry about your insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I've attended a few therapy sessions courtesy of BetterHelp, and I can tell you guys that I already feel that much more lighter. I feel better equipped to handle certain emotions, and overall, I just look forward to continuing my therapy journey with BetterHelp so that I can find even more ways to further grow in other areas of my life. Click the link in the description box down below or visit betterhelp.com/StevieSalle. And thank you once again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. So if you love the H&M aesthetic, but you kind of want something that's even more high quality than H&M and something that's even more elevated, let's talk about their sister brand, COS. So for those of you guys who don't know, H&M and COS is owned by the same conglomerate, like at the top. So it's like the big conglomerate right here, and then there's like H&M, COS, and I think like Free People's in there, and just like a bunch of other retailers. So when you think of COS stores, or COS, whatever you want to call it, is essentially the same thing as H&M, but I personally feel like there's this nicer and more elevated feel and look to the COS pieces. I really love COS when it comes to anything that feels a little bit more elevated, slightly dressy, and or I really love their shoes and their accessories. Everything that I said about H&M goes for COS. You can find really great stuff on their site for either full price, which is fairly priced in my opinion. You can always find them doing sales. They're always doing just like random sales, big ones, small ones. No one's complaining about a discount. And in terms of the whole sizing up thing, to just kind of ensure that you're getting, that clearance when it comes to the wash, because you just never really know, that also holds true for COS. There is some pieces that I have in my wardrobe that I've had from COS for years on years and years now, and it's still held up even through the wash. So I personally feel like COS, in addition to it looking just a little bit more refined than H&M, I feel like the quality is even better, and the price tag, it is still affordable. It's just a little bit more expensive than H&M. I feel like COS has a lot more refined silhouettes. It kind of gives off a little bit more mature vibes. It's kind of on that old money aesthetic, and it just is an overall great online retailer, or just retailer in general and company in general, to where you can find pretty much anything under the sun. So if you like the H&M aesthetic and you like the H&M products, but you want something that's a little bit better, COS is definitely for you. This next retailer right here is probably the cheapest out of all of these. Let's talk about Uniqlo. So I love Uniqlo when it comes to three things: their essentials and just their basic range, their Uniqlo U range and collaboration, as well as their outerwear. Those three tiers and those three categories from Uniqlo, for me personally, is where it happens and where it does it for me. In terms of the Uniqlo basics, I almost feel like the Uniqlo basics are kind of in line, if not just a little bit better than the H&M basics. They are a little bit more expensive, so definitely keep that in mind. I also really like how Uniqlo offers a wide assortment of all different types of colors. You can literally go into the Uniqlo store and there is one singular piece and they have it in like 20 million colors. There's a little something for everyone from Uniqlo. In regards to their outerwear, same thing goes. I have stuff in my closet that I've had for years now. There's this one specific coat that I got like years ago and I wear it every single fall winter season. It's this really nice brown coat. It comes back every year. I'll leave it linked down below for you guys because I have a feeling it'll come back again. And then in terms of the Uniqlo U range, for those of you guys who aren't familiar, Uniqlo U is a special kind of range. This really nice, more elevated, a little bit more pricey, but still affordable range of products for men, women's, kids, and just pretty much anyone. I think it happens 2 to 3 times a year, and Uniqlo U is definitely where Uniqlo shines as a whole for me personally. I don't really gravitate towards them all year round. I more so just kind of fuck with them during the fall winter season because they always have really nice outerwear. And then of course, whenever that Uniqlo U range drops, I'm always in there like swimwear. I love the Uniqlo U range. The silhouettes are a lot more modern. It's a lot more boxy, oversized cropped fits. And it's just, imagine Uniqlo with that same price point, that same aesthetic, color, size, offerings, all that stuff, but just a little bit more elevated and a little bit more modern with the Uniqlo U range. So brand number 3, Uniqlo, definitely the cheapest mention out of all of these 5 brands. And I think it's definitely the most entry level brand in terms of style that pretty much can fit anyone. The fourth retailer that I want to mention is ASOS. So when it comes to ASOS, I love anything from the ASOS specific brand. It's called ASOS Design on the ASOS website. I really like their trousers, and I also love just in general how you can get something trendy and or classic from ASOS. So kind of speaking to just the company as a whole, ASOS is definitely kind of one of those things. It's literally fast fashion as fuck. It doesn't get any more fast fashion than that in my opinion, at least from the 5 brands that I'm mentioning right now. However, I think when it comes to shopping at brands and companies like ASOS, it's all about having that intention, right? So if you're going to shop on ASOS and, if you're working with a limited budget, just be a little bit more mindful about, what you're shopping for, what you're looking for, what you're purchasing. I personally only shop from these retailers when I know there's something specific that I need that I don't necessarily want to spend a lot of money on. And I really want to drive that point home in today's video. If you're working on a budget, feel free to, of course, buy whatever you want with your money. But it is kind of nice, not only for yourself, but obviously for the environment, but just for your overall wardrobe, when you are a little bit more intentional and a little bit more clear about what you're purchasing before you do so. So when it comes to the ASOS website, I would highly recommend just sticking to anything ASOS design. They have pretty much anything like jackets, trousers, tees, basics, all that good stuff. And then in terms of buying trendy stuff from ASOS, like I said, just be a little bit more mindful. Obviously, to each their own, but something I like to do is I like to do my research on trends, and then before purchasing it, I rarely ever invest in a trend. So I always kind of opt for something that's a little bit more fast fashion or something on kind of like the high street sort of vibe like ASOS. I get my wear out of it, I do what I do with it, and then I try to donate it, or I try to like upcycle it, or I just try to do something that isn't like wasteful, if that makes any sense. So yeah, ASOS is great. You could definitely find some bangers on there. It is going to take some time to kind of sift through the website because there is so much to look at, but I think if you stick to the tips I share with you in today's video, you guys can find some really great stuff, and I'll be sure to have my favorites linked in the description box down below. All right, and then the last and final retailer that I want to mention, let's talk about Oakenfort Men. So Oakenfort is a overall arching brand and company that has a category for pretty much anything. They're predominantly bigger in the women's section. However, if you do shop on oakenfort.com and you go to the men's range, you will see they have some good stuff for that low price and that affordable price tag. I love Oakenfort when it comes to more unique silhouettes, matching sets, as well as elevated basics. And so you guys are kind of seeing with the reference photos and the B-roll clips and kind of the screen recording of the website that I'm showing you on the screen, you kind of get a nice little mix of everything when it comes to Oakenfort. But something that I feel like Oakenfort does better than maybe I'll say ASOS is it's a lot more, it sticks to the theme a lot more. So the overall arching Oakenfort brand is a lot more minimal. It's a lot more streamlined. It's a lot more kind of laid back and relaxed with an emphasis on more looser fitting, kind of cropped, oversized fits, which I personally really like. And so you guys will kind of see every single product for the most part offers that vibe and that aesthetic. There is a lot of pieces that I have in my wardrobe from Oakenfort that I've had for a couple years now. I started shopping with them. I noticed them about a few years ago, and then I started actually purchasing stuff from them a couple years ago. And their stuff, kind of what I'm saying about all of these brands, make sure if you can go in person, try them on. You will notice when you go into an Oakenfort store, there is either going to be a limited run of men's stuff, and for the most part, all of that stuff is usually on sale. At the time of this recording, when I was pulling the B-roll clips and the product links for all that stuff, every single thing that you are seeing on the screen right now is like 50% off, if not more than that. So that's kind of what I'm saying when it comes to Oakenfort. You get really great stuff, the minimal vibe, that kind of more laid back, relaxed fit, and the price tag is amazing and affordable, and the quality is there. That is kind of just the key thing that I want to mention when it comes to Oakenfort. They do not skimp on quality. Not every single thing, but at least the things that I'm pulling for you guys, you can kind of see it through the photos and stuff. It's laying down really nicely on the model. It looks really high quality, and it just reads not like a fast fashion piece, and that's kind of what you want, because obviously if you're going to spend money to look a certain type of way, you want to make sure you're looking and feeling elevated, and Oakenfort Men can definitely do that for you. All right, you guys, and that is episode 3 of this ongoing series here that I have on my channel, touching on all things my favorite men's fashion brands for every single budget. And this video right here was, of course, talking about the affordable to more fairly priced price point range. As always, everything mentioned and worn will be in the description box down below, so check that out if you're interested. I really enjoyed kind of like talking in the mic like this. I feel like I was actually like educating you guys and just coming through with the facts and the details and all that stuff. So let me know if you kind of like this setup. Let me know in the comments a couple of things. Let me know if you guys have any more affordable brand recommendations when it comes to brands that offer good stuff, that is high quality, that isn't going to break the bank. And then let me know in terms of just thinking ahead in the future. Episode 4, I want to talk about my favorite designer men's fashion brands that are super luxurious on that really like high-end price point. But in terms of the series, if there is another sort of category or another sort of price point or just any sort of like category of brands that you want me to talk about first or instead of the super expensive brands, let me know and I'll kind of take it into consideration, and then I'll move forward with episode 4 depending on what you guys say. So let me know in the comments down below. I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that bullshit. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this up, make myself a coffee, say hi to my daughter real quick. I think I kind of hear her crying. She's with my wife, so she's fine. Maybe take my dogs down. Yeah, it's a good day so far, so thank you again for watching and being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.